Hello students. So again I have come back, your teacher of English, Karna Amit Kumar. Okay, so basically today I have brought the solutions of the questions which were asked on 26th of this month, means Shrawan. So basically in between there were some gaps. I could not able to attend the classes here. 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks I could not attend, but I think I will be able to manage those classes as well. Just you need to keep patience. But today let's see with the questions here. We shall discuss it over here. So the first question goes with, see, the question is when the deer was passing. This question here, preposition, these all are preposition. So basically the question belongs to preposition. First we need to figure out the subject, as I have already told you. I have taught. Pass or go, they take through with jungle, forest, woods. Here see, I have taught you in the class, what I have taught you, that with pass, when we see the objects like this, jungle, forest, woods, all these three have the same meaning, similar meaning. Okay, and city, town, like this one is city, town or village. And when we are to go, then we use through. Okay, through. Similarly this one is forest, and when we are to go, then we use through, pass through, go through. But always remember, cross does not take any preposition after it. Okay, we do not use any preposition after it. Cross, through, we do not use. Okay, and also another preposition is along. Along does not come here. Along means that also follows a particular pattern. I have taught you in the class. Along is used when we have to show a particular pattern is being followed. Like this one is road, and Peter is walking along the road. Because the road is a pattern. Similarly, this one is a river, and somebody is walking along the bank of the river. Okay, similarly this is how we use along the bank of the river. Why we use along the bank of the river? Because river is a pattern, and its bank is also pattern, makes a pattern that we have to follow when we walk along it. Okay, that's why here comes along. In these case we use along, but in these case we use through. Okay, so here comes through. First through. These are two rights. Both are wrong. Now upon and onto. Now we see a lion jumped when the deer was passing through the jungle. A lion jumped. Now we see, what we have to see? Jump shows what? Jump shows motion, and motion plus on is called onto. I have taught you in the class. Motion plus on is called onto. And when onto plus area occupied, when it occupies the given area, we use upon. Like Peter jumped onto the ground. This one is ground. The Peter jumped onto the ground. Okay, Peter jumped onto the ground because Peter cannot be able to occupy the entire ground. That's why we use onto. It is motion, this one is motion, and this one is on. And both together makes onto. But when Peter jumps onto a bomb, here is a bomb, there is a bomb, B-O-M-B, bomb. When Peter was going along the road, he saw a bomb lying on the road. He jumped onto it? No, he jumped upon it, because when he jumps, he occupies the entire area of bomb with his body. Okay, he jumps like this, so it becomes upon. Peter jumped upon the bomb, not onto the bomb. Similarly, that when tiger jumps onto the deed, no, not onto the deed, upon the deed, because it occupies the entire body of deed in such a way that it strangulates its neck. Okay, you might have seen in National Geography. Okay, so here we use upon, onto we do not use, because line occupies the entire body of deed. That's why here comes upon. Now we shall go with another question. Okay, again another one is related to preposition, but this one is fixed preposition, means words followed by preposition. Here you need to see complain as above. It is also creep about. Okay, so complain as above takes all these prepositions. But how? When we complain to somebody, we use to. Against someone we use against. Complain against. Okay, and about what? About his misconduct, misbehavior, mischief, or anything as such, something wrong that the person has done, we use about. Related to what? You are complaining related to what? There we use about. Okay, here we see victim. Okay, victim, one who has been tortured is called victim, one who has been tortured. Complained to the cops means police. Okay, the victim complains. Culprit, one who commits the mistake or one who has done something wrong, is called culprit. Okay, so against him, here we use against. Okay, so our option is against. Okay, so this question is related to direct or indirect speech. Okay, narration we generally call it. So in narration, what we have to see first, we need to see this one is reported speech. He is the reporter. Reporter is what? Report, R-E-P-O-R-T. Report means one who informs. Okay, one who informs is called reporter. Okay, so he informs here. Report means to inform. Okay, what he informs, to whom he informs is called reported person. He is reported person with whom he has reported. Okay, so he is reported person, he is reported person, and with the help of the verb that he has reported is called reporting verb. Means the help of the verb that he has informed. Okay, with the help of the verb he has informed is called reporting verb. Okay, yeah, informing verb. This is how we prefer to call. This is a reporting verb or informing verb. And what he has informed, what he has reported is called reported speech or informed speech. So this one is reported speech. Speech means what? Speech means something that you have said, means your statement, that is called speech. Okay, so something what you have said is called reported speech or reported statement or informed statement, informed speech. Now what we see, we have to figure out its sentence. There are 5 types of sentences that you must be knowing. Okay, in narration you must need to know about the 5 types of sentences. This one belongs to exclamatory sentence. Okay, exclamatory sentence. Since we see here fi, with fi it begins, it means what? Fi means when we hate something, when we dislike something, we use the term like fi. In Nepali we generally use chi. Okay, so fi. This one is sign of exclamation. There should be sign of exclamation here. Okay, there is not in this one is not one. This one is sign of exclamation. Okay, so for this one, for in narration, what we see, when we have to, this one is direct speech, and while converting it into indirect speech, we have to say exclaim with what? Happiness, sorrow, disgust, disgust or contempt, disgust or contempt. These two terms are used for what? To show something that you loathe. L-O-A-T-H-E, loathe. L-O-A-T-H-E. Loathe means hate, hate. Something that you dislike. Okay, something that you dislike. We use these verbs for them. So contempt or disgust. D-I-S-G-U-S-T, disgust. We use for that one. It basically does not show your happiness, your anger. Okay, so when it does not show anger, we cut this one. Where this is also, it does not show your allegation. Allegation means that he might have done this mistake, that you are alleging. Okay, so basically it is not an allegation at all. Okay, so we use here discuss. This one is the right one, but there are number of other things as well that we need to know. You mean fellow. Mean means tuch, means the person who is not good in character. Okay, someone who is not possess, someone who does not possess good character, moral character is called mean. Moral character, one who does not possess, is called mean. So he called you mean fellow. So basically this person is calling him mean fellow. So he called me a mean fellow. He called me a mean fellow and exclaimed with, you have cheated me. You have cheated me. So second person changes into, according to object, you changes into me, exclaimed with, contempt, that. Second person changes into I, and this. When the reporting verb is in past tense, we also change the tense of reported speech. When this one is present or future tense, its tense does not change. Okay, but here it is in past tense, so its tense obviously changes. So present perfect changes into past perfect, so it becomes had cheated, had cheated. Okay, it could have been also right, addressing me as a mean fellow. This could have been also right. Instead of this one, he called me a mean fellow. This one is also right, but after this one, when he uses he alleged me, this one is wrong. Just because of this one, this has become wrong. Otherwise we would have also used here, addressing me as a mean fellow, he exclaimed with, okay, contempt. He exclaimed with contempt. Here also this one is right, he called me a mean fellow, but here this one is wrong. This one is not, it does not show anger, it shows your hatred towards someone. Okay, that's why this becomes right, the rest all are wrong. Okay, now we come with another sentence, another question. Which one is incorrect? See here, which one is incorrect, not incorrect. A week is made up of, when you read all these four sentences, basically preposition or passive voice, they all belong to passive voice. Here you have to see passive voice, as well as here in all passive voice, when we change an active voice into a passive voice, we are in the habit of using by in each of them. Just a Ram likes Sita, the Sita is liked by Ram. This is how we prefer to. Ram eats rice, the rice is eaten by Ram. This is how we use. But there are number of verbs, they do not take by after it. They do not take by after it. Just I am mentioning their name. We have to discuss all of them. There are number of verbs, when we change them into passive voice, they do not take by after them. Like make, like make. 7 days make a week. 7 days make a week. When we change it into passive voice, this one is in active voice, it becomes a week is made of, not made by. A week is made of 7 days. Don't use by, either by or from, both become wrong. Okay, both become wrong. Made of. Okay, similarly, I know it, it is known to me, not it is known by me. Similarly, she surprised me, the I was surprised, this one is V2, simple past tense or past indefinite tense. We use I was surprised at her, not I was surprised by her, I was surprised at her. Similarly, there are these verbs you must need to keep in your mind for your examination. Okay, like contain in, so it becomes milk is contained by the jug, not by, it becomes in, milk is contained in the jug, means the jug contains milk, passive verb, this one becomes milk is contained in the jug. Okay, similarly interested in, all these are used in passive voice, these one I have written in passive voice. Okay, interested in, surprised at, shocked at, alarmed at means chintit, alarmed at means you are worried about something. Okay, alarmed at. Say annoyed at, annoy means to vex, here you must be looking at somewhere, vexed, V-E-X-E-D, vexed at. Okay, here I might have written somewhere, if I have not written here. Annoyed at means vexed at, it means also to irritate, to embarrass, these are the meaning of annoy. Okay, she always annoys me. Okay, the she always annoys me, I am always annoyed at her. Similarly, vex at, irritated at, no, we don't use irritated by. Okay, so here basically here this one is it is not worst, it is vexed, V-E-X-E-D, vexed. Okay, I am vexed at his behavior. Okay, another one, see here, I have been very much interested in, this one is also right, interested in. Okay, in this book, this one is right, this one is I am vexed at, V-E-S, this spelling is wrong, vexed at his behavior. I have been very much interested in this book, in, that one is also right, milk is contained in the jug, in should come here, by does not come, that's why this becomes wrong. Okay, this one is incorrect. Also there is a sentence that you need to know, green grass has grown over the field, and its passive voice becomes the field has been overgrown, not grown over, overgrown. This is how we use. And here see, there is a space between grown and over, but there is no more space, this becomes a compound word, Okay, a short walk is for pleasure is called. See here, a short walk for pleasure. In class I have plenty of times I have used this term, that is a stroll. That is a relaxed walk, means there is no any time boundation. After eating, after having meal, you want to walk. At evening you want to walk in a relaxed mood, that we generally prefer to call I'm just going for a stroll. Okay, so that's one. This one is jog. Jog is basically I'm going for a jog. Jog is basically that is a walk, but that you make in a speed. Okay, that is neither you are running nor you are walking. In between the position is called jog. Jaunt is especially jaunt. This one is basically you use jaunt. That is jaunt is not used. That is also walk. Okay, you are walking, but you are making a tour. Okay, you are just going for a tour somewhere place. Journey, that is a journey. Basically it shows a journey. Promenade means what? That is also a walk, but this walk is generally this walk is basically done in a public place. Okay, this one is done in a public place, that's why it does not become absolute answer for us. This one is our absolute answer. Okay, stroll, I'm just going for a stroll. Okay, then we shall go with another question. This one says that our class, basically this question belongs to tense. Okay, this question belongs to tense, and in tense we use next Friday. This means it is talking about future tense. Next Friday it is talking about, obviously it is talking about future tense, and by is used, it means it must be future perfect tense. Undoubtedly you will have to go with this one. Our class will have been completed by next Friday. Okay, now coming to another question. Okay, sentence and structure. Here we have to see, this question belongs to sentence structure, and obviously here you have to see I is subject, obviously, consider is verb, The plan is object, obviously plan is object. Unwise, this one is unwise. So what is unwise? Plan is unwise. Okay, so it is giving a it is completing the sense of plan. It is completing the sense of plan, and plan is what? An object. That's why this since this is completing this one object, since it is completing the sense of this given object, that's why we prefer to call this one is an objective complement. Okay, this one is an objective complement. This one is the answer. That's why this becomes the answer. The rest all are wrong. Okay, this one is direct object, indirect object. This one is not an object. This one is complement. Okay, so this there is no any concept regarding to direct or indirect here. This one is object and this one is complement. Okay, complement. And I also have taught you in the class that if you have to find out, even for object and also for complement, what we use what or whom. What or whom for both object and complement. So I consider the plan what. This is the answer of what. So there is, this one is unwise, wise. This one is whether it is wise or unwise. Here the wise or unwise, this is not an adjective. This is a noun. This is a noun, because complement is always a noun or noun what? Noun equivalent term. Okay, complement is always subject, object and complement. These three are always what? Noun or noun equivalent terms. Okay, now we shall go with another question. See here what I have to show. If you are getting confusion here, direct or indirect, I would like to I shall give you an example. I made cry. See here, there is a sentence, I made Pallavi cry. Here you have to see, this one is subject. Okay, this one is verb, obviously this one is verb, and this one is also an object, and this one is object 2. This one is object 1, this one is object 2. Okay, but what you have to see that now here this you have to find out, since there are two objects, the one will be direct one, another will be indirect. So basically what my intention is to make cry. To make cry is my intention. That's why this becomes direct. This becomes direct. And whom I made cry, that is indirect. Okay, indirectly I am talking about this person. That's why this becomes indirect. This indirect object. Okay, but in examination if you are getting confused, you need to consider that one. Living being, human being becomes indirect and non-living thing becomes direct. Okay, now we go with another question. Which one of the following has this one, this sign? Obviously you must have studied about this one in your sound and stress. Okay, and I think you might have championed this portion, sound, stress, intonation. Okay, because number of questions are supposed to be asked in your IOE Entrance Examination from there. See, this one is right, obviously, because when you write, this becomes like this. Which one of the following has this one in the initial? So the only this one has in initially. This one has been used. Okay, the rest none of them takes this one. None of them takes this one. Okay, that's why our literal answer is this one. You just turn the pages of Oxford Dictionary or Longman Dictionary, you will find. Okay, you must need to fall in the habit of turning the pages of dictionary. Otherwise, you will never be able to solve this sort of questions. Now we go with another question. Which one is correct? Okay, which one is correct? So basically, this question is miscellaneous word, not miscellaneous word, miscellaneous sentences are there. You need to figure out what this one is related to. Which one is correct? There is a crowd of girls. It is not a crowd. A group of girls is called bevy, B-E-V-Y. A bevy of beauties, a bevy of girls. This is how we prefer to use bevy. Okay, it's bevy. Okay, there is a bevy of girls. He is in a hurry. Okay, this one is, which one is correct? This one is wrong. Okay, he is in a hurry. This one is right. He is in a hurry. Always use this phrase, always takes a. In a hurry. Make a noise. Okay, make a noise. In a minute. In a minute. Okay, this is how we have to always consider these sort of things. Make a mistake. Make a mistake. Okay, so this one is right. Which one is right? So this one is right. But we have to also discuss this one. I want a bread. I want a bread. This one is wrong. I want a piece of bread. I want a piece of bread. See, when you have to say I need a piece of, only one you are asking for. Okay, while eating, only one you are asking for, you have to say I want a piece of bread. And if you want two, you have to use I want two pieces of, two pieces. Pieces. So this piece becomes plural, pieces of bread. It does not change. Bread remains bread. Okay. There are number of words as such which are not used in plural form, like bread, stone, paper, hair. Okay. If you see a hair here, a hair in your food, so don't say that there is a hair. There is a strand of hair. There is a strand of hair in my food. A strand, A-S-T-R-A-N-D, a strand of hair. If there are two strands of hair, we use two strands. So it becomes plural. Similarly, this one, I need a paper. That one is wrong. Always say I need a piece of paper. I need a piece of paper. A piece of paper. I need two pieces of paper. Similarly, a piece of stone. Two pieces of stone. This is how we use. Okay. Now, in this one, where is wrong? The rest, this one is right. Only comma comes here. Comma, punctuation sign. Unless you do not read comma, you will not pass. The rest, everything is fine. Okay. Only comma is left here because there are two clauses. This one, there is one clause. This one is a clause. This one is subordinate clause. This one is an independent clause, and both are disintegrated with what? Comma. Now we go with another question. I met Kaushal, who gave me your message. Kaushal. I met Kaushal, who gave me your message. So basically, you have to find out simple, compound, and complex sentence here. I have already taught you about this one in the previous video. You should go through that one. I have already delineated everything over there. What I have taught you there, that if comma comes here, the meaning of this one becomes and he. Okay. And if comma is not here, this becomes an adjective clause that qualifies this one. But here this one is not an adjective clause that qualifies this one. Had there not been comma, it would have been complex sentence. This one would have been what? Independent sentence, and this one would have been what? Subordinate clause. Subordinate sentence. Subordinate clause, not subordinate sentence. This one is independent clause, this one is subordinate clause. In case comma would not have been given there. But comma has been given there. Now it becomes a compound sentence because the meaning of this one changes. Now it becomes and he. I met Kaushal and he gave me. Okay. This one is compound one. Now we shall go with another question. The word underutilization is accented on the highly debated question. Okay, basically for the first, I shall inform you that this question will not be asked in IOE Entrance Examination. There is not any possibility of this question being asked in IOE Entrance Examination. Okay, but still, for your information, you need to know about this one, underutilization. When we disintegrate the term into syllables, we find there are total 7 syllables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there are total 7 syllables in the given one. 7 syllables are there. Underutilization. This one is a compound noun. This one is a compound noun. Now, where comes the accent? Here, your teacher might have taught you. You might have studied what? In noun, this one is noun, I-O-N, this one is noun. and generally before ION takes the stress. Before ION takes the stress. That's why this one first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. At sixth position, the word underutilization is accented on the sixth syllable. Sixth. This one is the right. However, in option second has been given, but there is a mistake. There has been a blunder. So just you need to rectify this one. Don't just forget this one. The answer of this one given in your key. The second is absolutely wrong. This one is the right. Sixth one. Okay, just go with this one. Only for this question I had to come today itself, and this video is going to be uploaded today itself, so that you will not get any confusion regarding this one. Okay, don't go with this one, and just go with this one. Sixth one. Sixth. This one is the right answer. Now we shall go with another question. Which one is correct? So all these questions, you find they all are related to subject-verb agreement, that we also prefer to call conquered. Okay, conquered. Syntax. Here we have to see 40 miles. Which one is correct? Which one is correct? 40 miles is a long distance to walk. Here see 40 miles. See here, what you have to see, 40 miles, kgs, meters, rupees, hours, liters. These terms have been used in plural sense. Okay, though they have been used in plural form, since they show quantity, they show here quantity. Okay, for quantity, matra, quantity. Okay, for quantity we always use singular verb. Does not matter their form is in singular or plural, we always use singular verb. We always take singular verb because they show quantity. They show quantity. Okay, and that quantity becomes uncountable in nature. That's why we use singular verb. That's why 40 mile is a long distance to walk. This one is right. Which one is right? Obviously this one is right. Now we shall discuss why the rest are wrong. 40% of the mangoes is rotten. Rotten means soreko. So is, there is wrong. Here comes are. Now you will ask why. Because mangoes, this one is a countable noun. Okay, this one is a countable noun, and mangoes, obviously this is in a plural form. Here this one is in plural form, and whatever the percentage of this one, like 1%, 2%, 10% or 100%, that also makes certain number of mangoes, and they are also in plural form. Okay, 40% of the given mangoes means whatever the amount of that would be, that is also in a countable number, and that also makes plural in sense. That also gives plural sense. That's why we use are. Okay. Now Disha commanded me as if she was my boss. Always see as if and as though. Both have been given in your book. Just turn the pages. In a single page the entire chapter has been completed. After as if or as though, we always use if, was or were had to be used. We always choose were instead of was. Was never comes, always comes were. It shows as if or as though. Both they show what? Unreal situation. These are conditional sentences, and they show unreal situation. In reality she is not my boss, but the way she commands me shows whether she is my boss. Okay, in reality she is not my boss. Like we prefer to say, if I were a bird I would fly in the sky, but in reality I am not a bird. What I am a human being. I am not a bird. Okay, similarly that's why it makes unreal condition, not in reality, unreal. That's why it is unreal. Similarly here, she in reality she is not my boss. Okay, that's why we always use in unreal condition. Always when we have to choose between was and were, we always use were. We always choose this one, were, instead of was. Was never comes in unreal condition. Okay, now another thing, what we have to see, if it is in simple present tense, commands, Disha commands or command would have been here. Disha commands, here comes V2, simple past tense. But in case of simple past, if this one is in simple past tense, it becomes in past perfect tense. This one becomes past perfect. So it becomes what? Was or was changes into had been. Had been. Okay. So Disha commanded me as if she had been my boss. She had been my boss. That would have been the right answer. That becomes the right answer. Had been. Okay. Now see this one, all furnitures, see the word, this one, all furnitures, never, furniture is never used as furnitures. There is no any plural form of furniture. Furnitures, that's a wrong word. Okay, it always remains furniture. F-U-R-N-I-T-U-R-E. So you don't have to see further. This one is the wrong. That's why the rest is wrong. Okay, and with furniture, all furniture is or are. All furniture is good. It is always is. Never use are. Okay, does not matter how many furniture is there in the room, but we always use is instead of are. Okay, so this is how our grammar portion completes. Now we shall go with the other questions. Okay, comprehension. So this one is comprehension. Now we shall see. If you have read this one, basically this comprehension is related to this passage, is related to genetic engineering. Okay, the advancement of genetic engineering, genetic information, how we have advanced ourselves in this field. That's what this comprehension is talking about. Which of the following is same in the meaning as word obliterate, as used in the passage? So basically when you find obliterate is given here obliterate is given. Okay, this one is in the last line we find obliterate. So what's the meaning of this one? First you need to understand the meaning of this one. Obliterate means annihilate. The meaning of this one is annihilate. A-N-N-H-I-L-A-T. Annihilate means to erase something completely in such a way that its trace is also, its no trace remains there. Okay, its no trace remains there in such a way that we have just annihilated. Okay, that's the meaning of this one, to erase something completely. Now here we see delete also gives the same sense, eradicate also shows the same sense, wipe off also shows the same sense. Okay, we shall discuss about this one later. But here which one would be appropriate? In class I have taught you. In examination you will be given a word and to find out its synonym or appropriate as, similar as. Okay, but the given options would be all correct, but you have to find out according to the given comprehension which one would be appropriate. Here we see that it is talking about the obliterate the disease, obliterate the disease, and disease for ill factors, ILL, ill factors, ill factor means negative thing, like poverty, like any disease, like corona or like polio. They need to be eradicated. Poverty needs to be eradicated. Similarly, polio needs to be eradicated. We use this one, eradicate the poverty, eradicate polio, eradicate corona. This is how we have to use. That's why this one becomes the right answer. Now why this one is not right? Because delete is something that we use, whether it is positive or negative, we delete it. After reading the message, I deleted it, and the message would, I don't know whether the message is right or wrong, good or bad. Okay, so whatever we have, we are just deleting it, means without considering its goodness or badness, we use this one. For that one we use this one, but eradicate is always used for the sense when that one is ill in nature. Okay, now wipe off means wipe means puchnu, means there is a plate. Okay, and there is in plate you find the traces of water. So you just take a cloth and wipe it off. That is the wipe off. Okay, you are just, for that purpose we use this one. Or spoil means to damage. Here spoil means to damage, and we are not damaging it. We are just discussing that we have to eradicate the disease. That's what we are talking about. We are not damaging. That's why this becomes wrong, and the rest all are wrong except of this one. Eradicate would be the appropriate answer. Now we shall go with another question. Okay. Which of the following is true regarding to the reasons for progress in genetic engineering? So when you read this one, they are just talking about the advancement of genetic engineering, how genetic engineering is helping us, the human being, okay, in the civilization of human being, how we are getting advanced. It is talking about, it does not talk, this comprehension is not talking about whether the poor countries desperately need genetic information. Why does the poor country needs? Poor countries does not possess enough resources to advance genetic engineering in their own countries. It's basically genetic engineering, genetic information, this has become the matter of advanced countries like USA, UK here, or Japan. Somewhere it has been written over here. Okay, here you say UK, Japan, these are some of the developed country, and they are just showing much of the interest in this field, and that's why this option is not going to be appropriate. It has become popular to about female fetus. This one is fetus, okay, Vroon, fetus, Vroon. So it has become popular to about female fetus. No, we have not developed genetic engineering to about female fetus. That's wrong. Why should we? That's a misconception about this one. Genetic engineering is, we are using genetic engineering to spoil female fetus. No, we are not trying to do this one. Of course, that's what we prefer to call is that is a byproduct of this one. Byproduct means something that has everything has both good and bad aspects. Okay, and on the way, with the knowledge of genetic engineering, we are able to figure out the gender, we are able to determine the sex of fetus before its birth. Okay, so when we determine this one, we just try to consider that one, though yes, of course, this one is male, then we should give it to birth, and if this one is female, then we should not let it give a birth. Okay, so this concept generally it appears, but that is not the motive behind genetic engineering. That is just a byproduct. That is also not a serendipity. Okay, serendipity is always a good, that is used in good sense, but byproduct can be used in a bad sense. Okay, so basically that is just a byproduct of in genetic engineering. That's why it also becomes wrong. We are not advancing genetic engineering only to spoiled female fetus. Okay, and also it has been banned in number of countries. In almost all countries it has been banned. It has been strictly prohibited to determine the sex before their birth, and of course we should not do that one. Whatever the God has given, we must accept it. Now see which one the following is true regarding the reasons for progress in genetic engineering. Economically sound and scientifically advanced countries can provide the infrastructure for such research. Of course, here it has been given in this one. When you read this line from here, it is mainly detecting disorders, but scientists hope to reduce the costs when technology becomes more advanced and rich in countries like the USA, UK and Japan. So basically it is talking about this line. This one becomes the right appropriate answer for this one instead the other one. Human beings are extremely interested in heredity. Human beings are extremely interested in heredity. Of course not. Of course not. Human beings are extremely interested. We are interested in our heredity, but we are not extremely. We are not going for this in an extreme level. Okay, we are heredity. Why should we consider about this one? We are just talking about what? Advancing ourselves. Okay, advancing ourselves. Here you will find that Superman, like Superman. We are just trying to be this one. Okay, why genetic engineering? Okay, so that's why this one becomes right. Now we shall go with another question. Read the following passage and answer the given questions according to the according to the passage. The question is abortion is hotly debated. Here it is given. Somewhere you may find genetic disorders. It is not hotly debated. You will find it somewhere. Though the genetic engineering is still its infancy, scientists can now predict with greater accuracy genetic disorder. It is not yet an exact science since they are not in a position to predict when to change the genetic order of the gene in the germs. They are optimistic and are holding out that in the near future they might be successful in achieving this fact. They have, however, acquired the ability to manipulating tissue cells. However, genetic, where it is written? It is written somewhere fatal. No, you will find it hotly debated. You will find it here somewhere. I have read it, but I am not able to figure it out at this time. But somewhere it is written. You will find it hotly debated. Okay, somewhere it is written. Hotly fetus remedy as a recent defects which would otherwise prove to be a fatal to a recent possible genetic engine find abnormals. It is basically this one. The question of abortion is hotly debated. Why hotly debated? Because there is a we are genetic engineering is not for the purpose to determine the gender, okay, to determine sex or gender whatever of the fetus. We are just using genetic engineering we want because to provide the ample amount of resources to growing population. We are just trying to use with the help of this one we want to eliminate not eradicate our disease or anything as such. That's what for that purpose we have just used this one, genetic engineering, only not for this one. That's why it has become a hot debate. Okay, the last question goes with, according to the author, the present state of knowledge about heredity has made genetics, heredity of the knowledge of the genetics. Here reckless means careless. It means careless. This one is careless. Optimistic means positive in sense that you are just positive in sense, optimistic. Introspective means what? Introspective means you are just realizing, self-realization means you are just evaluating yourself. That's the meaning of this one, evaluating yourself, whether I am right or not. Arrogant means overbearing means you are just showing off. Okay, that is called arrogant. Here basically according to the author, the present state of knowledge about heredity has made genetics optimistic. This one is the optimistic means, why optimistic? Because basically whatever we have achieved in genetics, whatever we have achieved in genetical engineering or the genetic science, that has shown a positive way for us, that has paved a positive way for us to advance our knowledge in this field. That's why they have become optimistic. Okay, so this one becomes the right answer. So all these are here. Okay, then thank you class.